week or two, I was like, oh my God, it started.
Oh.
I'm on my.
No matter how many jobs I book, they'll never take me seriously because I'm fat. Proving people wrong is my favorite hobby.
I saw so many videos, and then I saw yours, and I was like, oh yeah, I love her. I love everything she stands for.
So we have Amanda LaCount here. Thank you for coming on.
Yeah, of course. Thanks for having me. I'm excited.
Okay, so I wanted to start off and get right into it with your story that's been blowing up everywhere. And I asked you before you went on the Ellen show, and Marie Forleo, who I'm a big fan of.
Yeah, she's great.
Oh yeah, she's amazing. And you're just everywhere, magazines and just all of that. So can you bring us back to where this all started in the first place and what your mission is?
Yeah, well, going back to the very, very beginning, I started dancing when I was 2. And pretty much the reason I started is just because I had 2 older sisters and they were in dance. So it's kind of just natural for me to join in as soon as I could. And I would always be dancing around. So my mom just kind of could tell that I wanted to be in there really bad. And she enrolled me in dance classes, and I just fell in love with it. I've been doing it almost every day since I was like 2 years old, so it's my whole life. But there's been some ups and downs along the way. Obviously, nobody's life is perfect, and if they say that their life is perfect, then they're lying. But people, if you can't tell, or if you don't know me, I am like a plus-size girl or a bigger girl, and people just can't really seem to wrap their head around, you know, the fact that, yes, I have some extra meat, but I can still move, and I'm still healthy, and I'm still fit, you know, and people just sometimes have a hard time accepting that. And I've had a lot of people along the way through my dance career tell me that, you know, I'm too big to dance, or I'm never going to be successful, and no one's going to book me, and all these different things. And although it's been hard at some points, you know, I moved to LA for dance to be a professional, and I have had amazing successes, but there have been some, you know, negatives. And I don't think that everyone is confident enough or has thick enough skin to live in LA, because it's very cutthroat. And put on top of that, you know, not looking the right way, it's like pretty much everyone is just like attacking you and saying you're not good enough, which can get hard sometimes. I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh, it never gets to me, I'm fine. And I'm a very confident person, and it still even gets to me. So yeah, I mean, some of the things I've been able to do is I did the Savage Fenty show, and I just did the People's Choice Awards, and I did Little Mermaid Live and Cover of Dance Spirit. I've been able to do like some really cool things that most people growing up that grew up with me would say that I'd never do. So it's really exciting, but it's still a challenge, you know, looking different to people.
Right. And you probably don't know this about me, but I grew up in LA, and I was a dancer. I went more into the acting world, but it's very similar in that you're put into a character type. And I began to, even for me, I had weight problems, and I had problems with how do I look on camera, and oh no, this and that, and they're judging me because they're casting you when you go into these audition rooms. So I can only imagine, and I know times have changed because I am a little bit older than you are, so there's that element as well. But you know, there's still that judgment that's being put on. So to me, I look at you and you're just killing it. I mean, I know that, yes, there's issues, I'm sure, but you are going out there. I mean, getting booked and doing these commercials and this and there. So, but before you got there, and before you had the confidence to say, hey, yes, I can do all this, and you're being interviewed, what pulled you through? Because there must have been times where you thought, or you felt defeated. at some point?
Definitely. Yeah. There's been multiple times, more than multiple, probably like hundreds of times where I've, gotten a little hard on myself and I've been down and in my feelings or whatever. But I think the reason that I've always been able to kind of get past that and just say, you know what, like, forget it, move on, keep doing what you love and, keep proving people wrong, is just because like my passion for dance is so huge that like literally no matter what anybody says, I could never imagine like stopping dance. Even if no one would book me professionally, like if I didn't get one job, I would still want to take classes and dance all the time. And so I think the reason I've been able to get through that is when you're so passionate about something, you shouldn't at least stop like for anything or anyone. And I feel like sometimes people don't necessarily have that passion, or at least the passion I do, to kind of get past that and get through things and forget what people say. Not saying that I don't want to make them sound like they're weak or anything, because the things people say are crazy, and I would not blame you if you stopped doing something because you were getting bullied. I completely understand, but I just think for me at least, my passion is just way up here, and the things people say is like down here, and so I can never imagine like stopping.
Yes, and I think that's the point, because then I realized I actually don't really like acting. I actually don't like it that much, but I like the business component of it. And then I went into the business world. But that being said, I think that passion carries through, because in any industry, I think there's always something, right? In the business world, it's like, oh, men, and then not men versus women, but there's different elements that go into play. But then what are you willing to, I guess I heard this somewhere else, but what like crap sandwich are you willing to eat for what? You know what I mean? So was there a time for you specifically where it was just rock bottom, really, really hard, and you had to make a decision that, you know what, I'm going to stick to this, even though it was just like a really hard time?
Yeah, when I was around 10 or 11, I tell this story a lot, so I'm going to try to keep it short, because like everyone and their mom has heard this story. But when I was around 10 or 11, I went to this studio, and the studio director, after a year of being on the competition team and doing really well and working really hard and everything, there was no issues or anything. He comes to my mom and I and says, "Hey, I'm sorry, but Amanda's body type just doesn't fit the vision I have for my team." And he literally kicked me out of the studio. I wasn't allowed to come back because of the way I looked. And it was just so shocking. And I was shocked. Like, that's the only word that comes to mind. Yes, I was angry and, devastated and so upset. But more than anything, I was like, where is this coming from? Like, you've never had an issue with it. You knew my size when I came here. It's not like I just was eating anything I wanted and, like, I got huge. Like, I've always been, like, this size. And so it kind of came out of nowhere. And at that point, it did really get to me. But luckily, I had my mom who's, like, very supportive. And I don't want to say stage mom or, like, momager, because she is, but not the type of, like, dance mom where it's, like, drama and my kid has to be featured. Like, not like that. She just really cares and is invested, which is, like, a good dance mom. And she wouldn't really not let me stop, but she knew that in my heart I didn't want to, and I'd be stopping because he told me to. And so she pretty much made me just go to a different studio and keep training and working hard. And obviously I'm glad she did. And within like a week or two, I was like, oh my God, it started. Within like a week or two, I totally not forgot about it, but I wasn't upset about it. It was more like, okay, like he said that, now I'm going to go to the next competition and show him why he's wrong. And it just kind of flipped the way I was looking at it. But if it wasn't for my mom, I probably wouldn't have gotten through that, or at least not as easily as I did. Yeah,
it sounds like, and your mom has been just a rock in your life. And I've seen your Instagram stories. You two are just charismatic bunch of ball of energy together. So it's really great to see. So can you talk a little bit about your relationship with your mom and how that's helped you in your life?
Yeah, we're very close. I'm the youngest of 7. So I have 6 siblings.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
But I'm the baby, and there's like a 6 or 7 year age difference between me and my next sibling. And so I think we're probably the closest out of my family, just because, you know, all my siblings are off doing adult things and starting their own families, and we're together like 24/7. So we're really, really close. And also I know some teenagers are like the opposite, or like the typical teenager, like they don't like their parents, they don't want to tell them anything, they keep secrets. Like I am not like that at all. Like I tell my mom everything, even if it's bad or embarrassing. Like I can't keep a secret from my mom. Even if I do something really bad, I end up telling her, because it like eats at me, just because we tell each other everything. But I don't know, we've just always been like that, and she's been so supportive from the beginning, and she's never doubted me or second guessed me choosing dance or anything. She's always been really supportive, and whatever I'm really passionate about, she's on board with. So I just got really lucky. So.
That's great. That's great. Amanda, real quickly, how old are you now?
I'm 18. So
18,
I'm
fresh.
technically an adult, but I'm still a kid. I'm still a kid.
No, of course. This is so good. What do you see yourself doing 5 years from now?
I hate this question. Not hate, but it's always the hardest question, just because, you know, like 3 years ago or even 5 years ago from now, I would have never, ever like said that I'd be doing the things I'm doing now, or it wouldn't even be in the back of my head. Like they were dreams that were so high, they were just like non-existent and not even in my
You were
head.
on the Ellen show, Amanda.
But so I have no idea in 5 years where I'll be. I really like my next goal is to go on a tour with an artist. That's like I really want to do that super badly. I'm getting closer to that, but haven't done that yet. But I'm also still pretty young, so I don't know if I'd quite be able to handle like traveling every day and, you know, getting 2 hours of sleep and then doing 3 shows. Like it's a lot, but at the same time, I just think it's one of the best things to do as a dancer is touring. So that's my next goal. So hopefully in 5 years, I'm sure at least I'll do that, or I hope. And besides that, I don't know. I just want to keep inspiring people, hopefully, and just keep doing my thing and proving people wrong, and just changing the way society looks at people like me, and just keep dancing.
Yes, I love it. Okay, one more thing. What would you give as an advice, not just for somebody who feels really different and perhaps out of the box for whatever industry that they're trying to go in, and they're saying, you know what, I'm different, but I really, really love this?
Yeah, I would say that it did take me a while after moving here. It took me like 2 years to realize this. But when I moved to LA, I was the same way. You know, I looked different than everyone, and I didn't like it, and I wanted to fit in with everyone. But then it kind of switched, like how I thought about it, and I realized that, you know, looking this way has given me so many more opportunities than like the amount of opportunities I would have gotten if I looked like every other dancer. And that's the reason why people like me so much, and why I'm relatable and they like seeing me dance and do all this stuff, is because I don't look like everyone else. And so I would just say that, you know, looking different is a good thing. And even though it can be hard sometimes and people will, you know, bully you for it and say these negative things, it will be a good thing. And if you just keep working at it and you're really passionate and you love it, then there is a place for you in whatever job or profession you want to do. There is somewhere that you fit into that. And yeah, just keep doing what you love. And different isn't bad. I said this recently in another interview that I really liked, and I just, you know, I said that different isn't bad. It's like, but how am I trying to explain this? I said it really good the other day. But I was just trying to say like that, you know, the girls that look like me are beautiful, but the girls that don't look like me that I'm being compared to are also amazing. We're just different. So neither of them is bad. It's just you can't really compare them because they're completely different things. So that's what I would say as well. You know, it doesn't do any good to compare yourself to people that, you know, it's not going to help at all. Comparing yourself to someone that hasn't been through the same things as you or isn't doing what you do or things like that, it's just going to end up probably hurting yourself.
And how do you stay in your lane, so to speak, and not look elsewhere?
It's hard. I'm not going to act like I need to take this advice from me too. I'm not going to sit here and be like, I never compare myself to other people. But I think I've just realized that, those people can do things that I can't, but I can do things that they can't. And we both have our own place in the industry. And we're not competing against each other. Like we're competing, we want the same career and we're both in the same art form, but there's a place for everyone and you just have to find where you fit in.
Yes, perfect. Well, thank you, Amanda. That was so great. Any last words that you want to say?
I don't think so. Thanks for listening, I guess.
Yes, thank you, Amanda. I know we've been doing a lot of back and forth, and I'm so glad we finally got on the call. So thank you so much. You've been really fantastic. All right, I will see you later.
Yeah, thank you.
I really appreciated Amanda coming on and taking the time to just talk to all of us and just spread her passion and fire, because sometimes we need that back into our life to just get and go do our thing, because we have something to share. All of us, we have something to share, and it's just allowing that to happen no matter what the naysayers say and no matter who says that you should or shouldn't, right? Because we know what our gifts are, right? Deep down inside. So anyway, please do subscribe, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, and I will see you on the next video.